Just a short video today. It's about 55 degrees outside, but inside the greenhouse it's about 100, and so I am sweating. I didn't dress for it either. I'm wearing my sweatpants and I'm sweating. So briefly, this is a Pitomba, first fruit of the year. So this is a pretty nice sized one. It's starting to get some color. Hopefully it doesn't just drop off my hand, because I hope to get it riper before we harvest it. One thing about these Pitombas and the Pitonga tuba that it's next to is I just wait till the fruit literally just drops off in my hand. I don't pick it. And to get fruit on these, I'm finding that if I rub the flowers from one onto the other species, then I'm actually getting fruit that way. Before, when I tried to just self-pollinate the Pitonga tuba to itself, it wasn't setting a single fruit. But this year I'm getting all kinds of fruit. There's some little ones. Probably harvested about 10 of them so far this year. Over here is my little chocolate tree. This thing has been flowering for a long time. It's been flowering about the last 6 months, and it just keeps trying, but doesn't set a single pod. Over here is a couple of different Garcinias, lemon drops. This is the standard, I believe, the intermedia, and then this is the improved over here, which is the Braziliensis. Over here I have grafted some rose apple. These are kind of a challenge to graft. I only get about a third of them that take, and then out of the third that take, this happens. They wilt up and they die. So it's kind of a low success type of endeavor, grafting these. I don't know if I'll keep grafting these, but it's kind of worth it because the mother tree makes really big fruit, like the size of a tennis ball, and they taste great. So I will try to graft them up, and because I know people want them. And growing a few cinnamon plants. They seem to like it up here in this hot, steamy part of the greenhouse. Let's see, what else do I have to show you? I'm germinating a lot of seeds. This is a really ideal place to germinate seeds because there's like minimal damping off, which is when things get too cold and wet and they get diseased. And these warm temperatures and the brightness, they really like all this. I don't have to do any heating mats or anything. And I've even had some seeds like these soursop seeds. This is like a Whitman variety. I bought these seeds like a year ago or something, and they've just been sitting there. But then now that I put them up here, they are just starting to grow like crazy. Let's see, what else do I got up here to show you today? Oh yes, my one fruit. This is a lemon drop Garcinia. I've had this one put out about 10 flowers, and then one of them finally took, and then I'm seeing one more flower come out here. This is grafted, obviously. Here's the graft, but I just grafted mature cinewood. These like literally have not grown in the last 3 years since I've had them. They've just kind of stayed about this height, and then they do flower, but there's nothing that seems to be wanting to make them grow bigger. I'd love them to get bigger, because then I get more flowers and more fruit. I love the fruit, it's really tasty. Over here is a Rollinia that I've been growing from seed for about 7 years, and I just recently kind of hacked it back, and it's regrowing. I need to move this thing down to the lower level because it is pushing up against the roof of the greenhouse, and it just wants to grow. It should start flowering pretty soon. It's flowered for me many times, and even held a tiny fruit one time, but the fruit kind of dropped off before it was about an inch in size. Believe it or not, it's cool and raining outside, but it's probably not too surprising in the Seattle area. This is a black star. Suriname cherry that I grafted a couple years ago, and it's been flowering this year, and I'm hoping that I'll get some fruit set on this. It's flowered quite a bit this year, but it just, all the fruits have been dropping off, and I'm hoping that some will start sticking around so I can try a dark Suriname cherry for the first time. Let's see. What I've done is I've got some old seeds that have been trying to germinate for years, and I'm just bringing them up here to see if they'll finally do it. If they don't do it this summer, I will just dump them out, because probably the seeds are already gone. But this is kind of like a way to check to see if your seeds still have any viability at all. There's some really old ones over there. Some of those are like 4 years old. This is a China Chimpedak. When I first got it, it came out with variegated leaves. And since then, all the variegated leaves have dropped off and it just has normal looking leaves right now, which is interesting. This one seems to be wanting to grow in a more compact manner and bush out, which is different than the other ones I've grown, which seem to want to just shoot straight up to the roof. Kind of like how this one's growing, so this might be the one I end up keeping. I heard that they're monoecious, so that you don't need a pollination partner, and Chimpedak would be pretty awesome to grow. We'll see what happens. I've got some canistels that are getting too tall. I was hoping I could get them to flower up here. They like growing up here, but I don't see any flowers poking out yet. These are about 4 years old, and they are growing pretty well. This is a Borneo fruit. This is called a Draconta melendau, botanical name, also known as a New Guinea walnut. Sorry about the rain, it just decided to have a rainstorm here. So I've been growing this for about 4 years, and I guess these can turn into really large trees, but this one seems to be staying manageably sized. Next to it's a Pembuka, it's a Jabotacaba. It's almost getting too loud to record this video. Some more Jabotacabas. These are 3 Garcinias. They're called Garcinia edulis. I potted them together. Kind of seems like Garcinias like to be potted together in a single pot. This is a willow leaf Jabotacaba that I grafted a couple of years ago. It's doing pretty well. It makes these really pretty long droopy things. Anything else? Merciaria caroescens, a couple of them that I'm trying to grow. I'm really interested in trying the fruit. Another one that's even more rare is called a Merciaria glomerata. I'm growing this one here for a couple years, and it's kind of looking a little ugly. It's never really just taken off and looking great, but I'm hoping that maybe it'll like the warm temperatures up here, and we'll see what happens with that. I've got a scarlet Jabotacaba that I grafted onto, so I grafted a mature scion onto a seedling of a scarlet. So these are both scarlets, and the goal on that was to just see if we can get to start making fruit earlier at a smaller size. That's typically the goal of grafting. Cedar Bay cherries, these have been flowering even at this small size, and oh, there's some flowers coming out right there. Even the little ones made some flowers already. This is a variegated Suriname cherry. It's pretty rare. I bought it from a guy in Hawaii, and it almost died when I shipped to me because the soil came loose. I'm trying to figure out what makes it happy. It was looking pretty unhappy a while ago, and then I brought it up here, it got happy, and then we had one day in the 80s outside, and then it seems to get overexposed. Not happy again. So it's a little finicky. Trying to find the exact situation it likes, which has been a little tricky. We'll see if we can make it happy. That's the hope. This is a Eugenia calycina. It's also known as a Savannah cherry. This one's been very petite. It grows really bushy. I can't get it to grow up as a single tree. It just wants to stay in this form. It's flowered for me a few times. Hasn't set a fruit yet. It's another interesting one. This is Artocarpus. It's related to Chimpadak, but this one's called a Quaimuk, or Quaimuk. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. This one has tried to die a couple of times. Died back to the root. And the last time it's grown back a couple of years ago, it's looking pretty good now. I'm hoping that I can turn it into a bigger tree and get it to fruit. I've read that this one likes to stay as a dwarf compared to other Artocarpus, and it can actually fruit at a smaller size. Over here is another Kambuka seedling. This one's been pretty aggressive and growing pretty well. So who knows, maybe this will be the first one that actually flowers for me. Well, this video's getting long enough. Oh, one more thing. Cha-cha. Been growing this from seed for about 5 years. And this one, it's getting kind of tall. It's about 3 feet. And hopefully it'll be setting a fruit one of these days. A couple of other Puteria over here. It's the cinnamon apple on this side. Went to Florida in 2021, got seeds, brought them back. And this is a green sapote. Actually, I have 2 of them back here. And also got seeds from Florida. I had a box of fruit shipped to me from Lara Farms and grew the seeds. Kept a couple of them, sold the rest. Got an abiu back there. Someone's asked me about abiu. That's the only one I have left, and I'm not selling it. It's just, believe it or not, that thing is 6 years old, and it just wants to be a dwarf. Well, it wants to be a dwarf when it's not trying to die, but we'll see what happens. Looks like it's perking up again, but it usually does this in the summer, and then looks like it wants to die in the winter. A lime leaf, Jaboticaba Plinia Special Cabino de Limera. I think that's what that's kind of mentioning here, but it's kind of a distinct limey color and soft rounded leaves. I'm going to end it here. We'll see you on another video. Thank you.